Shalom. Shalom. The title of this lesson is Being a Stoic for Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Patience, Endurance, and a Steadfast Spirit. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakah Ha-Kwadash, and double honors to the other apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching His word and believing in His word, the willing as a whole that you all continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Akwath, the sisters of this faith and this truth, the willing that you continue to pursue your life being a loving and silent, virtuous wife, and Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson through the power and the spirit of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi.
Stoic.
Stoic is a person who can endure pain or hardship without showing their feelings or complaining. In this truth, the elect are called to develop iron discipline, calm endurance, and patience while waiting for the return of Yahawashi and the establishment of the kingdom. Though Stoicism is a Greek term, the scriptures strongly teach what people call Stoic traits. And these are the traits: self-control, patience, emotional stability, endurance under pressure, faith-based calmness. The difference in this, Stoicism is not self-powered. It is powered by Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So let's get into it. Stoicism in the scriptures is not moved by circumstances. This is 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. A Stoic for Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is unshakable, not tossed around by bad news, delays, or frustration. They're going to always abound in the work of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay? So let's get Proverbs. The 16th chapter, verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. True strength is not muscle. It is emotional control. Okay? He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. True strength is not through muscle. It is emotional control. And you got to think about Yahawashi when you look at the form of being stoic. He still held, his spirit, So we should be looking at those type of examples so that we can actually overcome. So let's go to Proverbs, the 25th chapter, verse 28. He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Without spiritual control, spiritual self-control, you're defenseless. But when you are disciplined, you are fortified. When you go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 16th chapter, I believe 17, you have to love discipline. So let's go to the book of Luke, the 21st chapter. Patience is a command for the elect. Luke 21, verse 19. In your patience, possess ye your souls. Our patience is how we hold on to our soul, our stability, and our salvation mindset. You got to have a salvation mindset. You got to have a kingdom mindset. Let's go to Revelation, the 14th chapter, which I really do like this in the NLT, but let's just read it in the KJV. So this Revelation chapter 14, verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High in the faith of Yahawashi. In the NLT, it tells you to maintain your faith in Yahawashi, right? So, patient is one of the defining traits of the elect. To wait calmly is not weakness, it is prophecy. You know? And let alone while you're waiting, you're occupying in the business of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So stoically, enduring affliction, not reacting to everything. A Stoic don't react emotionally to every frustration, neither do the elect. You know, this is why you want to take control of yourself. Because yes, we're going to go through certain situations. Yes, we are human. But we can't let that allow to be an excuse when we see Yahawashi gave us the best example. So when you go to the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, the 2nd chapter, verse 2, set thy heart aright, set your mind aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Make not haste in the time of trouble. Endurance is not loud. Endurance is quiet, steady obedience, just like a soldier. Let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. It says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier for Yahawashi Hamashiach. No man that in warfare entangle himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. Our main objective is pleasing Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. A soldier doesn't complain every time he's uncomfortable. He stays composed under pressure. That's why, you know, when you go to juvie or in the Marines, the Army, it's you can see a lot of discipline. How they move, waking you up at a certain time. Bed got to be made a certain way. Your attire has to be, you know, look presentable. You know, your haircut, you know, how we talk, how we look at people. You know, you're under a trial of discipline, right? So maintaining a good attitude while waiting. This truth requires not just patience, but the right spirit while being patient. You know, you got to look at each and every day is you building character in yourself. So this is Philippians, the 4th chapter, verse 11. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. I know both how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere in all things I am instructed, both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. So Paul says he learns to be content in any state. That is spiritual stoicism. He wasn't ruled by emotions. He was ruled by faith, right? The just shall live by faith, you know? And I know a lot of us always bringing that out. This is Psalms 37 in verse 7. Rest in Yahawah and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any way to do evil. So to rest means to stay calm, confident, and unbothered. So Stoic discipline is being ruled by the spirit and not the flesh. This is why we try to move by the spirit and not the flesh. And you must know, like Galatians, the 5th chapter, 16, 17, we are always in a constant battle with the flesh and the spirit and the flesh. Stoicism teaches mastery over impulses. So this is why when we see in the scriptures that teaches the same, but by the spirit. So let's slide over to the book of Galatians. The 5th chapter, and let's read 22 to 23. It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are Hamashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit includes long-suffering, which is patience, temperance, which is self-control. And if we live in the Spirit, you must walk in the Spirit. But again, we are always in a constant battle with the flesh. Okay? So, and this is why, you should be dependent on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi in all things. This is Romans, the 8th chapter, verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. A Stoic for Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi keeps your mind spiritual and not reactive. And, when you go through certain things, this is why, before I even did this lesson, being at work, this is what this whole thing is about. Everything you learn, you apply it within your life. And I know we human, you human, man. And sometimes you might forget those points, but it be those moments like when you do remember and you get to see how you reacted to certain things in your life and it's not hitting you how it used to. That's not something yay, but through the Spirit, that's that confidence, be like, man, I truly believe, man. And look how much these lessons and these things that we're able to apply within our lives from the scripture, it allows us to, endure this fight. Okay? So the elect wait with confidence, not frustration. Because I know sometimes this is frustrating. But let's go to Isaiah, the 40th chapter, and verse 31. It says, but they that wait upon Yahawah shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Waiting does not weaken you. It builds spiritual power, right? Because when Yahawashi returned, let alone when Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi and hyphen your spirit, especially in the time of like Jacob trouble, that World War III, where brothers is going to be doing some miraculous things, what's going to happen? Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is renewing your strength. Okay? Let's slide over to Lamentations, the 3rd chapter. And let's read verse 26. It says, it is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of Yahawah. Right? So, just like how we see through the scriptures, which emphasize quiet waiting. Let me read that in the NLT. So it is good to wait quietly for salvation from Yahawah. Right? Quiet waiting on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. And you got to take that in with the Spirit. Handle yourself. And you get tested every day. If you got a job you got a woman, you got children, things happen in the house. We handle that by how Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi made you the head. And you put things in order, you put things the way that you prefer because you run your house. Talking to you brothers, but we supposed to have that spiritual might of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi within us where we're not out of character. Okay? So, Stoic training through our trials. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi uses hardships to forge Stoic discipline in the elect. Let's go back to the book of Romans, but let's go to the 5th chapter. Let's read 3 and 4. It says, not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. In the NLT, we can rejoice to when we run into problems and trials, for we know that they help us develop endurance, and endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. And this hope will not lead to disappointment, for we know how dearly the Most High loves us, because he has given us the Ruach HaKodesh to fill our hearts with his love. So the trials create patience, strength, inner wisdom, and faith. Trials don't break the elect. They sharpen them into spiritual warriors. That's what this is doing, man. It is to sharpen you to be more of a spiritual warrior. So, practical Stoic traits for the elect. Control your tongue. Let's go to the book of Sirach, the 28th chapter, and let's read verse 25. It says, weigh thy words in a balance, and make a door, and bar for thy mouth. Okay? So weigh your words in a balance. I did a lesson on, I think a few weeks ago. Watch your words, watch your tongue. And even for being a Stoic, again, going back to what I just said earlier, when we look at these lessons, it's to build character. The next point is controlling your emotions as being a Stoic. Sirach, the 18th chapter, verse 30. Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thy appetites, which is an impulse. And I know some of us have our certain impulse. Sometimes we slip. But when we recognize, which this is for me, this is for you, when you recognize those things, we supposed to rebuke it, cut it, call on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Think about these lessons. This is why, like the brother Sam, when he do a lot of lessons, he save them, on the phone, even like notes like I got, you save them so that sometimes you might have that you might forget. Or you might need that, I need reassurance. And you can go right to your notes. It's sometimes, even with YouTube, you can store videos and make playlists of certain videos. And those can be videos you can always go back to. Like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm always dealing with this. You know what? Let me get that. I need encouragement. I need exhortation. Make a playlist about exhortation, and it helps you stay on track. And that's just us depending on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, which a true Stoic is going to go to the source. So another one, accept delays with faith, right? Which is, let's go to the book of Habakkuk. Salaki, let's go to, where we at? Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not delay. In the NLT, this vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently for it. Will surely take place. It will not be delayed. Okay? So what do we have to do? We have to accept delays with faith. Okay? The Lord is coming, but we see all these visions, future prophecy is for an appointed time. Whose time? You think it's yours? No. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. But did you learn? Are you taking it in? Are you believing in it? Okay? The next point. Stay calm under pressure. I know, Jake. I know a lot of you brothers and sisters definitely deal with being under pressure. This is Psalms 112, verse 7. He shall not be afraid of evil tidings, evil news. His heart is fixed, trusting in Yahawah. Right? His heart is fixed, trusting in Yahawah. That's a key point in this walk. Trusting in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Right? The who Yahawah puts you in front of. And when you're learning, you trust in the Lord through the process of, oh, this is my teacher, and you haven't did you didn't do the actions like the people of Berea. You have a readiness mind, and you search the scriptures daily. The Lord set all of this up, and he's looking at your heart and set you in a direction that's fit for your heart. The more we grow, the more your character should grow and change. So again, the more you grow, you should be able to control your tongue. The more you grow, you should be able to control your emotions. The more you grow, you should accept delays through faith. The more you grow, you should stay calm under pressure. And the more you grow, you don't let your mood dictate your obedience. Okay? So let's get this, because we know it's multiple times where Jake in our history was disobedient, right? Because they allowed their mood, their thoughts to dictate their actions. The 2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature, right? Mortal thoughts. Brothers, especially in in GMS from the apostles on down, and you affiliates, I know brothers is always saying, have a rulership mindset, have a salvation mindset. We wasn't meant to just have a mortal mind. Jake, just stay here. When you start thinking of the Lord, you start thinking of everything that applies to what he said in the scriptures, ruling, having servants, you not working and you got people working for you. Like, it's just so much we can speak about. Okay? I want Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi to dictate my moves, and I want to move through the Rakah Quadash to truly dictate how I should be moving, right? So I can really have more of a control over my mood, right? Because you don't want your anger to cause you to sin. You want to have control of that. Oh, I got anger problems. Then that means you have to work on those things. Because coming in the truth, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Oh, I'm teaching, man. I've been teaching for 7 years. Now that's cool. Have you grown? And it should be, brothers should be able to see certain things in brothers and sisters and be able to see yourself and be like, dang, I don't got that patient attribute. You know what? For me to see somebody in front of me with patience, maybe that was a highlight for me to be like, you know what? I got to pray to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi to give me patience. Okay? So Your stoicism is a witness. When others panic, you remain calm. When others complain, you endure quietly. When others lose patience, you stay faithful. People see the spirit of Yahawashi in you, right? You want to be a reflection of Hamashiach Yahawashi. Matthew, the 5th chapter, verse 16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. It's not about me shining so that, oh, that's a superstar, oh, he fly. No, it's about you shining your light, and that light is Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So that eventually that light that's shining, that's shining off of you on them, Lord willing, it can intrigue them like, yo, you shining like, well, like, what do you be doing? Nah, it's all Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. That spirit can hit them, and they might want to know. They might want to learn. Okay? We're all here truly to be working for Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So your composure glorifies Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Each and every day, remember that. Your composure glorifies Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, especially if you're actually living this truth. So, to be a stoic for Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, to be a stoic in this truth means patience under trials, calm in the spirit, unmoved by delays, consistent in obedience, steady while waiting for Yahawashi's return, not ruled by emotions or frustrations or impulse. The elect remain focused, disciplined, and steady until Yahawashi returns with glory, judgment, and salvation. Some people might look at it as a weakness, where things can be chaotic and you still try to be calm. At the end of the day, we all have to know everything we do, good or bad, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is seeing it. So I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakah, HaKwadash. The honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, rule well and teach well, through the spirit and the mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth. In the same spirit, Lord willing, as a whole, that y'all all can continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Akwath, the sisters of this faith and this truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot. And Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson by the power and spirit of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Being a stoic for Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, patience, endurance, in a stand fast spirit. Shalom, shalom, abad, babal.